gentlemen, you're listening to AM 1250 WDAE in Tampa, St. Petersburg. We got more favorites coming your way, so stay with us. We'll be continuing this in a few seconds, so stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we have interrupted our normal programming at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is AM 1250 WDAE, Tampa, St. Petersburg. Please stand by. Emergency notification will be forthcoming from the government. Please stand by.
This is an emergency interruption of the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat. This is not a test. In a moment, you will be receiving special pre-recorded instructions. Obey and follow these instructions immediately. We repeat, this is not a test. The following instructions have been designed to offer you, the listener, a greater opportunity of survival in the event of a nuclear attack. Please follow them immediately and concisely. Above all, do not panic. It has been clearly demonstrated that in the event of an emergency, panic is among the highest causes of death and injury. Your primary objective at this time is to seek shelter as soon as possible. If you are outdoors at the present time and cannot find the source of shelter, then do your best to fabricate one with existing materials. If this too is impossible given your situation, then attempt to place yourself below ground level in whatever manner possible, such as digging a hole or pit. Remember, some form of shelter is better than no form of shelter. Once in a shelter, or for those already there, do the following. Evacuate all upper floors of the structure and move to the lowest possible level, preferably to a basement. Avoid areas with exposed surfaces such as windows or doors. Do your best to cover such surfaces with the materials available to you. Furniture can be effectively used here. If any electrical appliances or objects are in use, remove these objects from the source of power immediately. After which, shut off all power systems in the structure through the circuit box or the equivalent. Do this immediately. Shut off, seal, and protect any fuel supply units such as oil tanks, gasoline tanks, or natural gas conduits. These will be required after the conclusion of the attack. Shut off all water and plumbing systems, but only after a substantial supply of fresh water has been placed in special containers and taken to your area of protection. The supply of water to your home may be temporarily discontinued following the attack. If possible, set up some form of waste disposal system at this stage. Remove as much food as possible from the kitchen or storage area and move it immediately and quickly to your area of protection. The preservation of canned foods is not recommended. Rather, preserve naturally sealed foods such as those with skins, shells, or peels. Remain in your shelter with a radio or television powered by batteries only. Monitor emergency news broadcasts for updates on the situation in your area on a regular interval. Try to conserve battery power as much as possible. Do not leave your shelter under any, repeat, any circumstances. Your primary objective is protection and survival. Leaving your shelter will seriously jeopardize this objective. Remove all constrictive clothing such as ties, shoes, and belts. Then remove all objects from the body such as eyeglasses, contact lenses, necklaces, rings, bracelets, pocket change, pocket pens, and wristwatches. Empty all pockets. When you first become aware that an attack is in progress, such as through the sight of the brilliant flash of light of the explosion, turn your face in the opposite direction and cover your eyes immediately. Under no circumstances look at the flash. Lay flat on the ground and cover your face with your hands. When the shock wave hits, remain calm and keep yourself covered. If a section of your shelter is lost in the shock wave, do not try to retrieve it. Stay where you are and keep still. After the shock wave, continue to remain still in the event of a second explosion. Only when a full 15 minutes have elapsed after the explosion, then can you attempt to repair your shelter if it was damaged. If it is still in good condition, remain there and begin monitoring radio and television broadcasts for additional instructions. Do not leave your shelter until you are told to do so by the proper authorities. If no radio and television broadcasts can be picked up at any time during your stay in the shelter, wait 2 full weeks before leaving it and exposing yourself. At this time, seek medical aid if needed at any one of the emergency aid stations which will be erected.
We do not know if we'll hear from President Reagan. We don't know if whether we will hear from anybody at the White House. We're asking you all please to remain calm, stay indoors, keep on your radio or your TV, and be sure to keep batteries nearby for any portable radios you have with you. If power goes out, please be sure to listen for further instructions and do not panic. This is the emergency alert system.
This is Bob Henderson, and I'm going to read you some special instructions provided for us by the Defense Department. So follow them quickly and exactly. Here we go. It is necessary for you to seek immediate shelter. If you are on an upper level of a building or structure, evacuate this level immediately and move quickly to the lowest possible level. Do not use the elevators. Use the stairs. I'll repeat, do not use the elevators. Use the stairs. The following areas are now open for emergency evacuation procedures. All of these areas are part of a special defense program set up for quick and effective evacuation procedures. If you happen to be near any of these locations, they will be more than happy to provide you with temporary shelter. Again, if you are not near these locations, enter the nearest building and seek out its lowest level. If you are at home, follow the instructions given by the emergency broadcast system minutes ago. That is, find an area of protection at the lowest level of the house and take to it a large supply of water, food, blankets, batteries, a radio, a flashlight, and some form of waste disposal system. Set up a temporary shelter in which you could reside for 2 weeks if necessary. Okay, 2 weeks. Hopefully you won't have to, but it's best to be prepared for the worst. Wait a second. I'm hearing something in the studio. Here it is. Listen, folks, something may be happening now, so quickly find a shelter and get there now. Forget the supplies. Just get to some shelter and stay there. I'll try to keep you going as long as you...
WDAE